In the arid desert, amidst the cracked ruins, a man digs through the rubble. His hands fumble for a strange object, an old spearhead carefully wrapped in a Nazi flag. As he unwraps the cloth, an unknown force gnaws at him. His eyes go blank and his body ceases to belong to him. In John Constantine's world, heaven and hell are not abstract concepts, but real dimensions hidden behind the thin veil of our existence. John is an exorcist, he exorcises demons. In this he is helped by his apprentice Chaz. In Los Angeles, in a small apartment, a mother is preparing breakfast. Suddenly she notices that her daughter is possessed by a demon. The woman falls to the floor with a scream, and a few moments later, people who are able to help rush into the apartment. John pulls back the curtains, letting in the sunlight. He pulls an amulet from his pocket and presses it to the girl's forehead. And the demon inside her begins to growl in pain. But that's just the beginning. Something like a ghostly silhouette bursts from the girl's throat and wriggles as if looking for a way out. A huge antique mirror is brought into the room, and he orders it to be held over the girl. The demon struggles, trying to get out, but gets stuck in the mirror. John pulls the rope and the mirror falls down, shattering, and with it the demon disappears. Wiping sweat from his forehead, Constantine notices a strange drawing, a rough sketch of the very same spearhead. He recognizes it. The same one the man found in the desert. John immediately realizes that something very dangerous is coming. Elsewhere, Angela has a strange dream. She wakes up in a hospital bed. As she gets up, she walks down the stairs, out onto the roof, tosses her medical tag in the air, and jumps. Broken glass, water, darkness. Then she wakes up in horror. Angela arrives at the scene of the suicide. Angela stares with bated breath at the pale, frozen face of the dead woman. It was Isabel, her twin sister, diagnosed as mentally ill. A co-worker dryly reported, she jumped off the roof. But Angela didn't believe it. John went to the church where he met Gabriella. Upon seeing her dark wings, which are not visible to ordinary people, he called her a half-breed. John spoke to Gabriella about the delicate balance, about souls making their way in this world. He wants to know if the gods can extend his life. When Gabriella declares that he won't go to heaven, John says he fought hard. But Gabriella says that all the exorcisms of demons, all the suffering, are not proof of righteousness. Just knowing about God is not enough. To get to heaven, he must sacrifice himself. At that moment, across town, Father Hennessy was avidly leafing through the newspapers, flipping through the lines until one of them made him freeze. Isabel, suffering from mental illness, committed suicide. At the same time, Angela came across a strange name in the records, Constantine, a name her sister had repeated several times before her death. John was smoking on the narrow balcony when something ugly, moving, covered in wriggling insects loomed over him. The demon didn't just appear, it attacked, throwing John back across the street. The demon had come to warn him not to meddle with demons. After that, he had traveled with Chaz to the Midnight nightclub. It was there that the half-breed was partying. The Pope of Midnight, the man whose oath was eternal neutrality, was already waiting for him in the back room. John told him that he had been attacked by a demon. But he didn't believe him, for by treaty demons are not supposed to enter this world to keep the balance. Having accomplished nothing, he returns home. When John got home, there was a knock at the door. Angela. Eyes full of despair. She's tracked him down to ask for help. She's sure someone killed her sister. But John is busy with other problems right now, so she refuses to help. Angela turns and walks away, pursing her lips. As she walks away, John suddenly notices a crowd of demons rushing after her. Without hesitation, John rushes after her. He senses that this isn't just a coincidence. The incident with Angela may be connected to the demon's recent actions. He talks about the existence of heaven and hell, but not in the way the books paint it. She doesn't believe it. At this point, the air becomes denser, as if pulled by an invisible force. John finds a piece of cloth in his pocket and lights it. Angela sees scary creatures with burning eyes. They were demons. They scream, recoil and begin to crumble into dust, burning in the bright light. John realizes full well that they are after her. He asks her who she thinks could have killed Isabella. She doesn't know. To find out the truth, he'll have to go down to hell. He finds Isabella's cat in Angela's apartment and looks into her eyes, trying to find a connection. Time stands still and the next moment he finds himself in hell. The air here is full of cinders, fiery winds whipping between the ruins of mangled buildings. He trudges forward, through the chaos, until he sees her, Isabel. She is standing on the edge of a ruined structure. Isabel removes her medical tag and jumps down. John rushes forward, trying to catch the medical tag, but the demons spot him. At the last moment, he catches it with his fingers. Without wasting a second, he smashes the holy water against his chest and returns to the apartment. Now he knows, Isabel really did kill herself. He gives the tag to Angela. Meanwhile, Father Hennessy, examining Isabel's body in the morgue, touches her cold hand. A strange symbol suddenly appears on her wrist. He recoils in fear, but something prevents him from breathing. With trembling hands he grabs the flask, trying to take a sip, but the liquid won't go into his mouth. In desperation, he storms into the nearest store, grabbing the first bottle of wine he can find, but the liquor stays inside. Panic overwhelms him. He smashes one bottle, then another, but all in vain. He falls to his knees, frantically groping for air with his mouth, but his breathing becomes ragged. Balthazar appears from the shadows, lazily flipping a coin between his fingers. He watches Hennessy's agony with amusement. Suddenly, liquid begins to flow from the priest's mouth, thick, sticky, with a pungent odor of alcohol. He thought he had not drunk anything, but now he realized the truth. Balthazar had indoctrinated him with an illusion. He drank everything he opened. Every bottle, every drop he thought he couldn't swallow, was now coming back out, filling his lungs, choking him from the inside out. Hennessy gasps for breath. The last thing he sees is Balthazar's smirk. At this time, John is explaining the world system to Angela. Heaven and hell exist here on earth, but on different planes of reality. To maintain the balance, half-breeds like Gabriel and Balthazar were created. They can indoctrinate people into illusions. At that moment, the phone rings. Angela receives the news: Hennessy's father is dead. When they arrive on the scene, the first thing John notices is a bloody mark on the deceased's palm. Hennessy had carved something before he died. The exact same mark was on Isabel's wrist. John takes it and sends it to Beeman for study. All that's left is to find the evidence in Isabel's room. Angela recalls that as children, they used to leave secret messages for each other. It was their way of communicating. She exhales deeply, and her breath leaves a mist on the window pane. And on that glass appears the message, Corinthians 17. On the way out, Beeman makes a phone call. Straining his voice, he declares that this is the Bible from hell. It reads, Corinthians 17 speaks of the son of the devil who, when he breaks free, will bring eternal darkness upon mankind. The symbol on Isabel's hand is the sign of Mammon, the son of Satan. According to prophecy, Mammon wants to establish his own kingdom, surpassing even his father. But to enter this world, he needs a body with powerful psychic abilities. And it must be brought to him by a divine being. Beeman falls silent. There are strange sounds on the other end of the line. John and Angela rush to him, burst into the office and freeze. Beeman's corpse lies before them. His body is mutilated, his eyes are empty, his mouth is open in a soundless scream, and insects are still oozing from inside, scattering across the floor. Somewhere far away, outside the city, a man with the spear of destiny walks toward a car. He raises his hand, breaks the window, and climbs inside. The engine howls and the car rushes toward Los Angeles. Angela breathes heavily, her fingers clenching into fists. She admits that she's seen demons, too. As a child, she felt this dark world just as Isabel did. But when her sister was declared sick and placed in an institution, she denied her abilities. She pretended the demons didn't exist. Over the years, her eyesight weakened. And now she realizes she turned her back on Isabel when she needed her most. They find Balthazar's coin in Beeman's office. John breaks into Balthazar's apartment. His fist punches through the wall, debris falls to the marble floor, and Balthazar himself flies backwards, flipping in midair. He rises to his feet, shakes off his jacket, and lunges at John. His fingers clutch Constantine's throat, pressing him into the wall with an iron grip. He snatches up the brass knuckles with the Holy Cross engraved on them and strikes. The demon flies aside with a shriek, fuming, skin cracking with holy power. John realizes he has a choice: banish Balthazar to hell or bless him and send him to heaven. For the demon, the second option is worse than death. In panic he reveals the main secret, the key to Mammon's arrival in this world, the Spear of Destiny. But Balthazar is smiling. John feels someone standing behind him. It is Angela standing there. Balthazar laughs, saying that his only purpose was to bring her here. John doesn't hesitate and shoots. The demon squirms in agony, its scream echoing through the room. John and Angela go downstairs, discussing the Spear of Destiny and its role in Mammon's plan. But upstairs, in the ruined penthouse, a figure stands in the shadows. Meanwhile, Angela realizes a terrible truth: with her sister dead, she will be Mammon's perfect conduit into the world. But before she can do anything, her body is violently hurled through several concrete walls. She doesn't even have time to scream. John rushes after her, But not in time. John rushes over to Midnight. He demands access to the chair, an artifact that can unlock secrets. Midnight objects, but John declares that neutrality is broken, the demons are on the offensive. Midnight realizes she can't stay away any longer and leads John to the artifact vault. They find an old wooden chair, an electric execution chair. John takes off his shoes in preparation for the ordeal. The world around Constantine erupts. A vision appears before his eyes. The man with the Spear of Destiny is approaching the hospital, where half-blood demons are already waiting for him. Chaz, John's assistant, discovers that demons become vulnerable when their skin is washed with holy water. Inspired by this idea, he heads to the hospital's water tank. Dipping a consecrated cross into it, he turns the entire supply into holy water. Afterward, John appears in front of the half-bloods. He holds a lighter to the fire system. There is a hissing sound, and holy water pours from the ceiling. The demons squeal in pain. John finishes them off, destroying them one by one. When the battle is over, John and Chaz rush to Angela. When they find her, they realize that Mammon has already possessed her. She attacks him with inhuman strength. Chaz rushes to her aid, but even the two of them struggle to contain her. John begins to recite exorcism spells. For a moment, everything around her falls silent. She takes a deep breath, and it seems like it's over. But then darkness fills her eyes. There is still something left inside her. Mammon tries to break free. John continues the exorcism spell, and Chaz joins him. Suddenly, Chaz is thrown into the air, his body hits the ceiling with force and then falls to the floor. He doesn't move again. John, full of rage, folds his arms, creating a sacred symbol. Suddenly Gabriel collapses on top of him. John finally realizes the terrible truth. It is Gabriel's divine touch that will be the catalyst for the birth of Mammon. Gabriel explains his motive. People have become too complacent. They have forgotten fear, they have lost faith. They need to be taught anew how to suffer. Those who survive this nightmare will be truly worthy of God's love. He then lifts John into the air and throws him forcefully through the glass door. Wounded and exhausted, John desperately searches for a way out. Gabriel prepares to thrust the spear into Angela to complete the ritual. But time suddenly stops, and Lucifer appears. He slowly approaches the dying John and offers him one last cigarette with a smug smile. He then enters the room and sees Gabriel with a spear, ready to complete the ritual. Without hesitation, Lucifer takes Angela away, severing the connection to Mammon. Time moves again. Gabriel is shocked. The Lord of Hell himself stands before him. He banishes Mammon back to hell and burns Gabriel's wings, turning him into a mortal. Lucifer returns to John. Now he is ready to drag his soul back to hell. But before he does, he offers Constantine one last wish. And John, instead of asking for his life, asks to send Isabel's soul to paradise. Lucifer is surprised. But he honors the request. He reaches out to John to take him. But he can't move him. Time stands still again and the heavens open. Now that he has made a selfless sacrifice for Isabel's soul, God accepts him. Lucifer is furious. He realizes that John is slipping away from him forever. But at the last moment, he gets another idea. He resurrects John by forcibly pushing his soul back into his body. John wakes up, all his wounds healed. Angela comes to her senses, too. In the pool, amidst the rubble, sits Gabriel. He is now an ordinary man. John and Angela go out onto the roof. John hands her the Spear of Destiny, after which they say their goodbyes. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. See you soon.